what's going on our island, on the Pearl of the Caribbean, right? So this morning we'll be looking at criminal psychology. And this partner and criminal profiling, and whether or not this could aid us in curbing crime and violence. Joining us for this discussion is Miss R.A. Blake, criminal psychology. Yes. Girl, you have to tell me about that. What is this criminal psychology?
What is it about? Good morning, one and all. Thanks for having me, by the way. Criminal psychology is the understanding of crime and the individuals and why they commit the crime, and also assist with crime preventative measures and policies in place to stop crime. So, for example, if a rapist, so if a rapist is known to be a rapist, you try to understand his mindset as to why he was raped. So if he was abused himself as a child, statistics shows that persons who are abused as a child become the abuser.
Okay.
So there's also already a psychological and a mental trigger that creates that criminality.
Oh, well, before I jump into it then,
Yes, ma'am.
Kevin Wallen, who comes on a Friday, he says the reason why, well, one of the reasons why men beat women is because as a child they were beaten by their mother and they couldn't beat the mother back. So when they become adult and they find themselves in a relationship, then beat up the woman. Is that criminal psychology?
And profiling in a little bit. Here's why I agree with him what he's saying,
Yes.
and it's adaptive a little bit both. Because the mother figure is so prominent in your life, that's the matriarch, you cannot hit back, speak back, or even raise your voice too.
Yes.
If you find a female who is similar in traits, her voice, she projects her voice too much, reminds too much of your mama, the best way to get her down is to beat her.
Okay.
Because then she projects too much traits that's of remnants to a woman that you could not
beat
or control when you were younger. The same way with them say a man go for a woman when them number say she can cook and she can clean, then go for she, it goes the other side of the spectrum too. And that's how actual serial killers actually comes in place. So if you're, for example, yes, your mother beat you and broke you up with all of the stick them and all of them things there, right? You now, every woman that resembles her, you go out your way to kill her.
Oh gosh.
Or you go out your way to make sure that she's broken as so much as possible. Or for example, say a lady gave a man STD, HIV. Now every female that has her types. Remember, you already has a pattern. Remember, dancer, long nail, long ear girl. So therefore, you're gonna go for all those girls to pass it on because you were already scarred by
a girl like that. Okay. All right. Let's go on to criminal profiling. That's that one that we want here. Or that the one that go.
We use your traits and the environment to help determine why you do the crime you do or how you do the crime you do. For example, we're gonna come off the rapist because can't bother with them. Let's go to a murderer. Since Jamaica is
full of them.
I don't know one, but okay. Now let's go. Murders are switched or categorized in different areas. You have self-defense, so on and so forth. So when I'm giving a generalization of murder, I'm being generalized. So you're going to the neighborhood now. You got Jonestown, for example, and you go shoot up a particular block. Now it's my job, or one of my particular job, is to go to that area and identify who they may be having conflict with. Even if the individual itself, I'm a good boy, say I'm not bother nobody. Unless it's an innocent actual drive-by. Unfortunately, there is something that triggered off why that person has died. As much as we want to say, so John never touched nobody at the end of life. Something happened. So one of the points is to find out, okay, so John get lit downtown, Orange Street in our red SUV. My job now is to profile who will be driving a red SUV. So those red SUVs normally drive by 30-year-old mechanics? Are they driven by 50-year-old doctors?
Oh.
Is it a police between the age of 18 and 35 that drives those vehicles? And you use that by finding out the database. So you look for all of the red SUV them, and say, all right, the age range of people buy SUV are between 25 and 69. You already know it's a male. Now I have to categorize by the way they drive.
Yes.
Is he short?
Oh.
Is he tall? Does he have a limb? So the profile and characteristic traits, and then the type of crime that they commit, you have to profile that too. So you want to say, all right, say I'm killed John down at Orange Street today. What if it's not just a random thing? Now you have to use that killing to determine other possible killings in the future.
All right, stick up pin. This week we had a murder at the gas station right out there. So the young girl, we got whatever in her head or whatever. And two men on a bike. She's a pump attendant. So them just drive up, shoot her, and just slip away. So how would you how would
the criminology work with that?
Check out who ride bikes.
One of the ways to do this to ride bikes, if there's no CCTV possible, we have to then you can't find a CCTV because then you can calculate the time frame from when they leave the gas station.
When you say CT, you mean a camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
They can calculate from there the every security guys, every stoplight have a security camera in it. Every single one of them.
Everyone?
Stoplight.
Every stoplight. Then put them in now.
And sometimes when I see the one on top of the someone I see, yes, there's somewhere. So they will find a way to find you if they want to, based on the conversation I was having. Blue collar car worker, they identify and find who they want to based on the crime solving that they want to solve.
So let me ask you this question then. In reality, based on what you've been saying, are we able to curb crime at the rate it's at now? By using the camera, whatever.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to use the camera. So from my standpoint from that, to emphasize on that, once I identify the camera is not there. Then you have to find out her. You have to then use the victim to find your offender. So who did she irritate a day before?
Okay. You don't know that. You
go on. Yeah. You check her phone and check. This is Jamaica. Everybody knows what. Yes. So somebody will say, said the little cat had an argument with one man 2 days ago with the gas pump and he never have the right change and shit. Yeah. And let's be real, some of these probably tend to be very disrespectful. Yes. Like I beg them something. So I'm not saying that's her case, but some people perceive that as you say. So she probably irritate the wrong person and they say, hey, look, me I come for you, and she not know this. So we use her to find them. And then by finding them, we be able to track other cases. Because remember, there's a trait now where bike killers are killers now. Everybody put out, what them call them? Yang. Yeah. And they keep up and down robbing and shooting.
Blakey, me here say them the mask. It's
hell. Oh, my laugh. It's when COVID come in. The criminal just see me laugh. Yeah, why criminals laughing? Remember back in the day, if you have a band, if you have something on your face, they lock you up. And if you don't have something on your face, they lock you up. Oh my God. So I laugh. I'm like, you guys are just giving the criminals the perfect example to commit a crime, but which is ironic because during COVID, crime rate was low, which was ridiculous. Which I think, you have more freeway. You know why it was low? Here's how criminology and criminal profiling comes in handy. They knew that if you're home, you can't catch me. Because the government tells me to stay in my yard. So me not coming out of my yard for come find you in your yard for that's trespassing for you shoot me for trespassing. So that helped with the reduction of crime. The only crime that increased was domestic violence.
Oh yes, big time.
Which goes back to your statement. You see everything come back about the females getting beaten because they resemble their mother or grandmother. I do have to point that out. It's not necessarily just a mother. It's a grandmother and one of those aunt figures that they could, or even a church sister. You ever have that one church sister with their church for just as much as you try to do good, she ever finds something bad for say to you, and you wish you could. Now they project that attribute to other persons. And then the
Oh.
same, and because they can't, some of them not one liter, let's be real. But that's how they get to the men. The callousness, they have lack of empathy. So like psychopathy, they have lack of empathy, they're impulsive, they're manipulative, and they're cunning. None of people, criminals know, so hence white collar crime and blue collar crime cannot be fixed because a lot of callous and manipulative and cunning and when the people that money they have to pay for the road and all these things. So as much as I want to implement criminal profiling within Jamaica, it's going to be very difficult based on the different crimes, the white collar crime and blue collar crime. So I'm hoping if I adapt it into...
So before you go any further, Miss Blake.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you differentiate between the white and the blue?
Yeah, yes.
The white are who know, like the politicians them?
Yes.
Okay. And the blue are who them?
The corporate organizations.
Oh, so the corporate organization, they are the blue.
They're the blue collar crime, and some of them are white collar crime because remember, enough politicians own some organizations.
Oh, yes,
so,
what you are saying. Yes.
So if you are balancing between them two, you are not going to want to be profiled in a way that if a man comes to you and say, say you've picked, there's a checklist called Harris 30 checklist. If you check 20 of the something then pan that here checklist, you are classified as psychopath. No, there's a lot of blue collar and white collar crime people who ain't gonna want to be classified as psychopath because they think because they're not shoot nobody physically or rob nobody physically, they think they don't commit no crime. But what about the money they rob out of the treasure fund? Yes. What about the school fee when they pay? And the collection money, we all know. But like an SUV 2023, nice. It improved the 23 rims, right?
So nice.
Yeah. Mrs. Pastor, I like your Versace heels, girl. How much they cost? So when you start, I have to identify because callous, manipulative, lack of empathy, lack of sympathy. Write by them something that you just think of for a politician in your head. You just probably think of a couple of people in your head right off that bat. So if I'm supposed to, I use those things to identify criminals. That's how you get the murderers and the gang killers because if you're a contract killer, you're going to have all those traits, aren't you?
What can you tell us about the contract killers? Because I hear they're rampant in Jamaica, I'll go in a church and shoot
people.
People contract people. Me say, woman, if you mess with fair man, she'll put a contract killer by you.
Yeah, and the contract can be as below as $100,000.
$100?
Imagine your life is worth...
100,000?
We've got British investors. Imagine your life is worth £600. Just for your life, and that's there. Here's why contract killing is there: lack of employment. You have the education, but you cannot use the education because Jamaican people are dunce. No, education is not a problem Jamaican people have. It's just how to apply the education. So when you have those things, look how much funeral. And don't come for me. Look how much funeral home people in a foolishness and hide up bodies and this and that because they're in traits with the gang members and because they fear. Fear is a cause of criminality.
That is why so many bodies are missing. You can't find
bodies because you either your body punk one funeral home man for say yo either you or them. And because you have that fear, you yourself partake in a criminal act which is disposing of a body. So you going to jail. But you're not thinking about that because you're trying to be alive. Yes. So when you do criminality, when you go back to profiling, everything is not based off, you can't use the act itself to judge a person's criminal behavior, criminal act, criminal change. The mind and the reason behind it contributes to it. Because if a man comes to you and say, yo, you're going to shoot Junior and kill your mother. Junior, I love you. May God be with you.
But the mindset nowadays, though, Blakey, is to kill down to the dog.
It's always been a case. It's just social media. I'm glad you pointed out, oh my God. It's because social media wasn't rampant back in the 90s and the 80s for you know what that had gone. Because enough time you're going to hear 15 people in one house just dead. You can't find a man. You got rid of his 2-year-old son and his baby mama. So it's not necessarily more rampant now. It's just more identified. No. It's like policing and blacks. Black policing has always been blacks' problem. It's just because we have the internet, we have phones, we have all these things now that is putting it in front view. 1960s Louisiana, 1980s in England, no dogs, no what is it? No rats, no what is it? No Irish, no blacks,
Yes.
no dogs.
Yes.
So if you were categorized as
One
that,
of those.
then so you cannot, unfortunately,
Oh my
avoid
God.
criminality
Yeah.
within the world. It's just how one do the criminal act, because we all thief a man go fight you.
Yeah,
Stop
but
it. The whole of we are thief.
Blakey, from where I talk about, it sounds like we doom.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes, because
we are so doomed.
the crime is the longest running job that exists. Longer than
prostitution.
I'm just saying longer than taxing and prostitution. Because I remember said David killed the man for his wife.
Yes, you're right. So it's right, film Bathsheba.
So it's been going on for a while, but what we can do to help curb it is to identify methods, policies, and programs in place to help the reduction, the punishment, and the offending. Because if we never paid attention to black crimes, we still, as black people, would be getting charged for stupid. We still get charged for stupidness, but you know what I mean.
So the SMOE or whatever the government has in the communities, that now do nothing.
We're talking about what do they call it? What they call it? Zone emergency zone.
Wanna plead the Fifth Amendment?
Emergency zone of transition. It works in some areas and it doesn't work in some areas. I do have to give that. Because it was yesterday, literally it was yesterday, I was speaking to somebody in Vineyard Town and they're like, "May the police move now?" They said, "May the police move tomorrow." Dead. And they're like, because the person, they can't shoot nobody no more, they're gonna run shanking.
Run, what that mean now?
Stabbing.
Shanking.
Shanking, they go around shankings. Say, "Me can't shoot you because if you fire the gun,
them are
gonna hear. So I'm just going up to you, stab you up. And at least that way at least that way I guarantee you die if I stab you up. Come here, go for the lungs, right?
Yeah.
If I shoot you, you might kinda can't survive. So zone of SOE does work in the sense that it deters one form of crime, but it just
escalates
another form of crime. Cause you're like you look a 16-year-old with a pedophile them.
Yes.
No, you're like a 13-year-old with a pedophile them. What's up? You just increase pedophilia tenfold by trying to start murder and teenage pregnancy. And they say, she should have better. She should have better. No, bro, you locked her in an environment where she does.
2 years, for 2 years.
Where she has to survive. I remember some of them mother back in the day and father, them pimp up them pitney.
Yes, me know. So the daddy in the era send for the child.
Yeah, say no. Say no. And therefore, that's how you actually, as a parent, get involved in criminality. Because now you become a trafficker.
Oh, and yes, tell me about the trafficker.
You become a trafficker because now you're sending over your child to the man, and what you gain? Money, security, a little car.
It's trafficking.
No, in that sense, but and that's what it is too. Because if somebody buy a cat over there, I say, yo, meet me a Negro. We are go on the beach and we are relaxed. Oh, you gonna go on the grill because you're gonna have a fun time. Look, you never return because you're in somewhere going to Serbia.
Jesus Christ, they put you on board.
Put you on that board.
Yeah, that tried only here.
I'll put you and this is how it's funny. Trafficking does act. It's funny in the sense that it's blatant. Trafficking happens in our sight. You know, we laughed earlier about early for airport. You got airport enough time and say trafficking. You see it in your eye. You just don't know it's there.
Yeah.
Because that little girl that's in the corner, even that little boy that's in the corner that looks like they ain't. Check on them, man.
They're being trafficked.
Yeah, man, just go over there, go say, "You all right?" And they may not be able to answer you, but they'll answer you. So it's just up to listen. Guys, if you guys are anywhere and you just, it could be a grown person like me and you, because let's be real. We have man who have fetish for black and thick and sexy like you, boo. Okay?
I like the sex.
So they'd be like, all right, so I need 45 to 60-year-old women, certain category. This is how they do profiling too. Certain categories, certain education. Because you know, say, if me I do with you, I still want to have a conversation with you. That hence prostitution. Trafficking also entails body organs.
Yes.
So if me got a doctor, me got one, me friend a doctor, no, me not friend a doctor, friend a doctor, bad friend a
Say the
doctor.
doctors them up to it too.
Yes. Go back to, remember how we spoke earlier about the funeral directors?
Yes.
The doctors themselves involved in criminality, hence profiling that they don't want to, because if Mr. Richman, blue collar crime, white collar crime, need a new lungs, and you know, so the 16-year-old on the child's ward, so the only thing wrong with her is because she have a migraine. I don't know the migraine. Her lungs is perfectly healthy, is it not? You come back, you say your daughter dead. Not your daughter, but your daughter dead.
What is that? Oh my
Her lungs is now trafficked, and because also of her organs is good, all the big man and big man and panelists, who wants a heart? Check. Who wants eyes? Check. And it's the whole body part. So when you hear females and males missing in Jamaica, it's not always sexual trafficking that's taking place. There's also body parts trafficking.
Wow.
Even your yai they want mum.
All your yai.
If you're a good photographer, they know your eyes is magnificent. So they don't watch your eyes. The only thing they can't transfer is your vocal cords, because you have an amazing voice. That's the only thing they can't transfer yet. Literally.
God.
Everything else, your brain can transfer. Eyes, ears. If you say, oh, her eyebrows are cute. I want them. Yeah, for the right amount of money. Oh, you know, some arm kind of.
So, not because we are a small island, all that thing can go on.
Same place, right here in Jamaica. Look how much time you got funeral, you got hospital, and then can't find body. Where body then? Where people them body there? Like my grand uncle got buried, and it's not him that got buried because they misplaced his body. So we bury one man. We literally bury somebody because of the same hospital mindset that they do it. So when you hear see your family go missing in a hospital, the criminologist in me, not in the middle, the criminologist, let me say the crimeologist in me, I say that because crime, double check all these things. Yeah, no, don't come kill me.
All right, so it's now important for the powers that be to implement a program where the use of an individual like yourself can join the police office when questioning an individual who is believed to have done a criminal action.
Yes, I agree. We should. There needs to be a criminalist and a criminal profile. And the person, whoever is in the room, does not need to know who the person is. They don't need to know who I am. Because when they know who I am, that's when all their answers become convoluted. That's when everything becomes interchanged. So they introduce me, oh, this is Miss Mona, you know. Proceed with your questioning. Do not let them know, oh, you know, this is Miss Mona, criminal psychologist, criminal. That's when the answers that you were trying to get, you ain't going to get. Because you now look for them and look for them. But once you tell them, say me is that, you know, them automatically, it's like lie detector test. When you, like, me and the police, then I run my lie detector test now. You know you can fake a lie detector.
Yeah, I guess.
You just control your heart rate. Yeah, you just control your heart rate. And then once you complete that, you'll be able to
So do you believe that your expertise would allow for a greater solving of crimes in such a case?
Yes, prevention and rehabilitation and punishment and programs. Because I have a couple of programs in place right now that helps with prevention. So if you're from the ghetto and you don't want involved in some crime, link me. I got you. There's a program that we can take you outside of the ghetto, learn your entrepreneurship, employment.
Wow.
If you're offending and don't want to re-offend, because you know sometimes you stab a man and you come on the road, your gang member them for them. I say, yo brother, you don't sentence the road because you don't want to do that no more.
And even though you are young, you're a young girl, based on your experience, do you believe that the culture of crime has changed with this generation?
Yes, it's worse.
So you're a part of this generation?
No, don't do that.
You're not a millennial?
No, I'm a Gilbert baby. No, but it has. Because narcissism is no longer a mental disorder. Narcissism is in a state of everybody is all about me, it's me. That's no longer a thing because of social media. So because it's all about me now, you kill. Because it's about me now.
Wow.
So this generation in regards to social media, certain things has gotten worse.
So do you believe a
Time
special
signal.
team need to be set up in the police force or the army to do criminal psychology and criminal profiling?
Yes, there should be, and it should be external too, to
Yeah.
avoid government interruption and, let's be real, fakeness and fastness. So put it inside and outside. So therefore, there's always a balance.
So we go get this a training and now you have to fly out.
Yeah, well, no, you. I did both my bachelor's and criminology and psychology in Leeds in England. I did my
Okay.
master's at Penn State in criminal justice with education and community
Well, that
policing.
sound dear, man.
Oh,
Oh, they do in the pool.
no, I got some scholarship, but it's broke. I'm broke right now, y'all. I take payment in kind and materials, okay?
Is it possible to get in touch with you or no?
Yes, it is. 876-227-3462. 876-227-3462. Instagram, Black Social Scientist. You can get my company off that, my policy off that, my initiative and all those things if you want to assist with deterrence in crime, or if you are a liar, you want somebody about it, or I'm going to send it to me.
So,
Send it to
should
me.
we send it to Dr. Horace Chan?
Yes, but I don't want them to teach my idea though. So send it to them and tell them to complete me. And we can talk about
Them
it.
need them, don't send you.
I'm pretty lost in it needs it too.
Parental, oh God, then we can.
Actually, we don't have time for compound.
Oh gosh, parental loss. Oh my God, the farmers them are feeling.
Like, rest in peace to the farmer that died the other day. They killed him on his farm for robbing his stuff. So yeah.
All right, oh my God, look at the time. I've got to get out of it. Oh, I'm so in trouble. My producer is so.
Oh, I did sorry.
Yes. You have to take some of the blame.
I did Sally. The Nigerian they kick it. I did Sally.
All right, my people, that's it. Remember, Portmore, we are family. Every home in Portmore should be listening to Sun City Radio. Every taxi driver, every shop need to tune in to Sun City Radio. Well, you heard it from
Miss Mona, baby.
Oh my gosh, no sir, what a eye opener. No sir. I forgot come back enough.
Whenever you're ready, please let me come back and we can continue our pretty lost conversation.
I wanna touch
I wanna touch gang members yet, and psychopaths and serial killer. I wanna touch policing and equality. We wanna touch that yet. Colorism and crime.
All right, so there you have it, you white and blue collar criminals.
We gonna get the normal criminals arrest.
We are on to
yes,
you guys.
Yes, we is.
All right, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks for having me. Bye, y'all.
Gracias por escuchar.